Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are all super well. Today, I am like really excited about who's coming on because she has helped me so fundamentally during my journey as an entrepreneur, and she is such a great support. I've been on a number of her programs, and I've really seen a huge difference. Jody is a conscious business coach, and she has the most oh, here she is. I'm going to bring her in. Hello.
Here I am.
How are
Hello.
you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good. I must say that I'm trialing out some new glasses at the moment. Do you know what these are for?
Isn't it for your screen, no?
Yes, they are.
But
Yeah.
tell everyone else, because
Exactly.
I don't know if everyone knows about blue glasses.
But this isn't a fashion statement. I just want to make that clear. This is just like, they're about £10 from Amazon, and they're really effective for protecting your eyes from the blue light from your computer screen. And there are so many of us, you guys and like basically everyone we know, who just spends hours at a laptop and don't know about you.
Your phone all the time.
Or the phone. By the end of the day, my eyes feel dehydrated, actually. It's like my eyelids are kind of sticking to my eyeballs.
I know exactly what you're saying. And because I have the same pair of glasses, but I always I find them and then I misplace them and I don't find them until another month. I'm like, oh, that's where I left them. I should have known.
Yeah, I know. But they're super cheap, but they're just helpful. So yeah, that's why I'm trialing them out today to see how my eyes feel at the end of the day.
And also, just to go on that, there's also studies saying that by wearing them, you actually sleep a lot better because of what
sleep. Yes,
yeah,
totally. And Marina, I'm a total biohacker.
Ooh, sorry, it's the sound low. Can you hear me now, Lexi? There's my other business partner. But anyways, Jody, thank you so much for coming on, because you are such, especially during this time, you've been nailing it. So please can you tell the LBD family who you are, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jody, and I listened to you give me a really nice introduction earlier, so I'm not going to repeat too much of it, but I'm a conscious business coach. And hi, Poppy. I know Poppy. I'm a conscious business coach and also a digital entrepreneur. I have 2 best-selling digital programs, and I'm a podcaster. So my podcast is called Be Electric, and it's all about biohacking and about health hacks, health optimization. So exploring things like these babies and bulletproof and cold water therapy and loads of other stuff like that. I'm also an author, so I've written a book called Self-Care for the Soul. And yeah, that's it, really. That's me. And I worked for 10 years before this as a business director, working at some of the biggest global ad agencies in London. So I've done my time in the corporate world, and I've had this business for 7.5 years now, starting off with being an in-person therapist and then moving on to mentoring and now being a one-to-one coach. And I also have, I coach coaches as well. So I have programs that support coaches to build their coaching businesses, improve their coaching styles and understand how to, I said that, build coaching businesses, basically. Yeah, so I love working with coaches, and there are so many coaches these days. Oh my gosh, everybody is going to become a yoga teacher or a life coach. That was what I was saying a year ago, and now that COVID hit, I'm like, like everybody's now going to be a digital entrepreneur or a digital version of one of those two things.
But
Or,
actually, this
yeah.
subject of coaching, it is so important because everyone needs a cheerleader. Because like
Yeah.
you don't have that, you're like, oof, you're always doubting yourself. So it's like, you know, those things we get at school by having the most amazing like captain or coach, exactly. You know, it really helps you get to the right place. So I totally vouch for coaching, and I totally like, you know, love everything that I do with you, Jody. So let's go on to when you were working before, like what made you want to do this change? Was there something that just came upon you, you're like, no, I no longer work in this industry. I now want to coach and help other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt a little bit disillusioned with the advertising industry. I was a total workaholic, and I was working 12, 14-hour days. I was a business director, so I was at director level, and I felt like I'd kind of reached a glass ceiling, because I wasn't inspired enough to get to the next level. I didn't want to be MD or anything like that. Like I felt like I was totally exhausted and burned out. So I basically decided to take a sabbatical, and I went traveling for a year. And I hadn't done that after uni. I just went straight into work. So I went off to South America, and I was away for 10 months in total. And after a couple of months into my trip, I found myself signing up. This is 10 years ago, Marina, just to caveat this, 10 years ago. I find it's my 10-year anniversary this year. So it's 10 years ago, and I'll tell you what it's my 10-year anniversary of in a moment. But I found myself signing up to this retreat in Peru, and I didn't know what the hell I was going to be doing there at all. And I remember going on a riverboat on the way there. It was in the middle of the Amazon, and I was with a very, very I can't mention her name, but I was with a very, very famous Hollywood actress. And I was with like pro sports players. There was this like really eclectic group of people, and it was quite a high-end experience. And anyway, and you know, when you're on a boat, you know, when you see someone off from a movie, you think that, oh, I remember seeing this actress, and I was like, did I go to school with this person? You know, you think that you recognize someone from school. I had that moment. Anyway, she's mega, mega, mega famous now. Anyway, we were on a retreat, and we ended up in the jungle, and I basically embarked on a 12-day ayahuasca ceremony. And for those of you who don't know what ayahuasca was, and I think there's many of you on the call who won't know what ayahuasca is, it is a hallucinogenic, psychoactive plant medicine, right? So it's something that the indigenous people have been dieting on or taking for like hundreds and hundreds of years. It's like their medicine, and it goes into your subconscious, which is the part of the brain that you can't always access freely. And it basically helps you see things in new ways and resolve trauma and hidden parts of yourself, right? So cut a very long story short, if you want to read about this, you can, it's all in the book, right?
And also, do you have a podcast? You have a podcast on it, don't you?
It's all on the podcast. It's all on the podcast.
Yeah.
But essentially, the experience completely changed my life. And it was like going through 10 years of intense therapy in 12 days, very intense experience. And after that, I was like, I don't want to go back and work in advertising. I want to be doing something meaningful in the world. And I know it sounds like a cliche to say that, but this is 10 years ago. And so, yeah, I came back to London, worked for a little bit freelancing, and then I just was like, I quit. That's it. And then I went off and started my own business with not a clue about what I was going to be doing. And I was buying a property at the time. I was like, okay, this is not the right time to leave my job, but I did it. And you trust and you surrender. And I've got surrender tattooed on my arm. Everyone can see that. Surrender to remind myself to not be such a control freak. Yeah, and that's it. And the rest is history.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing that, Jay, because I never knew that. And I love that. I'm also going to find out about your retreat, because I feel like I might need to go there. That'll be the first if I go on. So I know firsthand how amazing coaching is, but in your mind, why do you think coaching is so beneficial, and why should people consider it?
Yeah. And there are different types of coaches. Just let me say that first of all. You've got life coaches, business coaches, health coaches, food coaches, you know. I'm very much a business coach. I'm from a family of entrepreneurs. My whole family have always had their own businesses. And it was natural that I would start my own at some stage. So I love getting under the bonnet of people's businesses. I love helping them understand, you know, how to run their business more effectively, how to understand where the new opportunities are. So I work in a very intuitive way, which means that because of my training, and I've got lots of different sorts of training. So I'm an accredited advanced coach, but I'm also trained in lots of different practical tools and techniques, such as EFT, which is a tapping technique, a bit like acupuncture and hypnotherapy. And I'm trained in loads of different things. I'm trained by a speaking coach in proper inspirational speaking as well. I don't know if you knew that, but I remembered that 2 days ago. I was like, 5 years ago, I went to Santa Fe and I trained with the woman who pretty much trained Oprah Winfrey or someone like her. And I forgot all about that experience.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, because I'm just, sorry to digress, but Marina knows I'm running a challenge at the moment, and it's all about helping people set up communities and monetize communities and audiences. And everybody in the challenge pretty much everybody, 85% of the challenge are afraid to go live on video. And the first thing I invite people to do when they're in any kind of experience with me is do a video and introduce yourself. Everyone is freaking out, you know, and I've helped thousands of people in my launches and challenge groups overcome their fear of being on video. But it's just mad. So the other day I remembered, I was like, oh, I had that training 5 years ago. That's why I'm fearless at being on camera. But yeah, so anyway, I'm kind of...
And I remember when you put the task out to our coaching group, and it was quite funny to see that literally 5 minutes before the call, everyone was putting their videos in. There was very few people that did it the 2 weeks prior to when it was asked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
totally, yeah.
That completely. And also we were discussing like with Zoom, for instance, like some people just felt so uncomfortable at the beginning going on Zoom with showing their faces. Like my business partner Lexi is so good on Zoom. Like she just owns it. She has all these amazing backgrounds where I'm like, which is my like it's an interesting thing to watch yourself, like talk to people. Yeah, but
totally, yeah. So I just wanted to finish the question actually, Marina, because you asked me the question about coaching. Essentially what I'm doing is supporting you to go from where you are right now. You might be feeling overwhelmed, you might be working too many hours, you might be in some kind of bottleneck where you can't really see how to get to the next level. On a one-to-one coaching level, I traditionally work with entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs, who are at this kind of multiple six-figure mark and wanting to get to this next level financially. And it's a whole different mindset that's needed actually. And we think we have to just work harder and we stay on this hamster wheel and we burn out even more. And actually it's a very new mindset that you need to adopt and create to get to this new level. But I also work with groups, and I have these digital programs, and we bring in like between 100 and 150 people in at one time to learn about online businesses, from creating clients to creating funnel journeys and lead magnets, and selling effectively, feeling really comfortable and confident selling, public speaking, creating designs and copy, positioning your communities at loads of different things. So it's basically, I support people to go from here where they are struggling to here where their highest business vision is over a 6 to 8 month period. And we look at limiting beliefs and stories, and so it's so
crazy, like how everything, and like you and I again with people, it's like there's a lot of your limiting beliefs that is obviously connected like to your subconscious, like when you were a child, and so a lot of that is like kind of going to the root of that and working on it to really blossom and be the best business owner that you can ever be. And also going on to also your point of the webinars that you've been doing, like it also shows that you've been growing such a huge community, because like you said, you know, 100, and every time I've gone into a new program of yours, I just see it growing and growing. And and that's also a really good point, because, you know, there's obviously that much interest, but you are building such a loyal fan base.
Yeah,
Which is incredible.
yeah. I think, you know, for anyone who is an online entrepreneur at the moment, you will already know what I'm about to say, but I think it's a really good time to build audiences at the moment, if you have the right strategies in place. And you and I have talked about this already, Marina, because people are looking to belong to something because of everything that's going on. Because whenever there's uncertainty and adversity in the outside world, people need to feel like they belong. They, like, you know, in the words of Brené Brown, we crave belonging, like we crave connection with people, right? So when stuff like this happens and we have to social distance, we feel disconnected. So we crave this community vibe. So that's why what you're doing is so important, because you're creating an amazing community. So for me, it's never been a better time to build audiences. And that does include things like investing into Facebook ads. And I know that Facebook as a company isn't completely, you know, smelling of roses at the moment. You know, there's lots of, like all of these big corporations, there are many things we could say about Facebook and other companies. But at the moment, there's no better platform to help you reach exactly who you want to reach in such a targeted way. And when the COVID was, when COVID started, you know, lots of brands pulled out of advertising because of what was going on in the world. And actually Facebook ad costs went down by 50%. So what it meant for digital entrepreneurs like me and like you guys who are watching was that we could bring in double the amount of leads, you know, for a really reasonable cost, or we could spend the same amount and yeah, we could spend 50% less and bringing the same amount of leads, or we could double our leads and spend what we were spending before. So it just provided a really powerful opportunity. And if you're a conscious business owner like you are, like I am, doing good stuff in the world, we want to bring people into our experiences, because, you know, they're gonna receive a really powerful experience from us and what we facilitate.
And talking about when COVID hit, I've said this, yeah, like Jody nailed it. She literally started creating all these incredible programs to support people. And again, like being in the community, I was watching how all these amazing individuals were like, at the beginning, were feeling very fearless and like didn't know what they were wanting to do. And now they're like, we've got so much demand and we're doing so well. So you really see the journey of like,
yeah,
amazing results. So Jody, congratulations on that, because you really, honestly, I really look at COVID, you've been such an inspiration, because like she's really throwing out these digital plans, growing people, getting people involved. And so
thank you for saying that.
No, you have, and you know you have. I mean, because I don't think you were expecting to do as many webinars and programs during this period of time.
No, listen, I, like everybody, had a mini freak out, because we can't not go through that, because then we're not connected to what's going on in the world. So I had a mini freak out. I'll tell you exactly where I was. I was walking down Oxford Street in London towards the Albright Club on Maddox Street, which is a lovely members club. And I was walking towards there, and I pulled up a desk in there, and people were just starting to look at each other in a kind of quite suspicious way. And I think I sneezed, and then I had like 50 pairs of eyes descend on me, glared at me, and I was like, what is going on? And then I could feel myself kind of freaking out a little bit. It lasted an hour, and then I pulled myself up and I was like, all right, Jody, well, we don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty. What you do really well is serve. And between us, I was gearing up for a launch of my Conscious Business Academy at the end of April. And so what we decided to do was push that back and serve people with what they needed in the moment and what could be more accessible to them price point wise, because I know that people's businesses were thrown all over the place. So yeah, I created 2 7-day programs. One was all about mindset, and one was all about, it was a business accelerator to help people create more clients. So yeah, that was kind of how it happened. And then, yeah, and then I would never have launched these 7-day, the kind of boot campy type style programs had COVID not hit. So it was actually a really good business strategy for us, without us realizing it. Yeah.
Sometimes it just happens like that. But
Yeah.
you know, and thing is, you've got, when is the date for your next webinar with the scaling of growing audiences?
Yeah, so actually I'm in the middle of a challenge at the moment. It's been a 4-day challenge, best challenge I've ever done in terms of engagement. People are just phenomenally engaged. Like, we've got, like, when you get loads of people on a date, sometimes I get thousands of people on a data list, right? And you normally get about a third of those actually showing up for the lives, because, you know, there's always a drop-off rate. I think we've got 2/3, if not more, people showing up for the lives. And you'll love this, Marina. I just want to tell you about a little tech tool that we created for this challenge, and then I'll tell you about the webinar. So we actually partnered with a tech developer on this challenge, and we created Jody Bot. And Jody Bot is...
Is that on your
Have
website?
You seen it? No, Jody Bot is a bot in Facebook Messenger, and she's super intuitive, and basically she takes people on a really powerful journey. She sends people event reminders. She helps people unlock extra value and gifts. And I have to say, I was super skeptical about this at the beginning. I was like, it's just going to bug people. People are going to unsubscribe. Like, you know, people are going to be turned off by this bit of tech. But we tried it, and about 500 people subscribed to it, because you have to subscribe to it independently of, you know, it has to be a thing that you opt in for. We had about 500 people subscribing to it, and they absolutely love it. And I'm like, I did not see this coming, because if I was subscribed to a bot, it would annoy me so much. But yeah, people love it.
I'm going to now talk to Jody Bot.
Talk to Jody Bot. I think that people are thinking, I want something like that for my launches. So they're probably just trying it out. Anyway, it's all going really well. Participation and engagement is much higher than usual, which is great because of Jody Bot. She's like my partner in crime. On Monday, as in this Monday, the 6th of July at 6:30 p.m. and the link to register is in my IG bio. I am running a webinar, and it's basically 5 steps to monetize your audience and create reoccurring revenue. And so I'm going to be teaching all about like growing audiences and unlocking them and creating reoccurring revenue and certainty in your business. And I'm also going to be sharing a preview of the CBA. The CBA is for digital entrepreneurs who are looking to grow and scale their digital businesses. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. I was like, I've got, you'd be proud of me. I've created a deck. I don't normally do decks. The only time I do decks is because I did so many decks as a business director. I pulled so many sales decks together. I was like, no more decks. But I've actually, every time I run like a proper webinar, I actually create a designed deck experience. And I actually quite like presenting from it. Quite nice. I know you're using decks all the time now.
You should speak with Lexi, because Lexi is like an ace with it and how it can come into
deck
Zoom,
queen.
and she does all these like theatrics. But yeah, no, decks. Every time like we're doing a deck, it's like deck version 102. You're like, oh my god, I don't know which one is which. So Jody, for business owners who you feel like blocked, what is the most common reason do you think that people feel like they can't go to the next level?
Right. I've got a couple of mentors who I work with, and they're like hugely successful. Like one was a millionaire at 19 years old, and they would also say what I'm about to say. So this is not just my opinion. It's so much of it comes down to mindset, Marina, especially when you're scaling a business. It comes down to mindset. And you can know all the strategies and growth tactics going, but if you don't have the right mindset in place, then you're not going to be able to get to the right desired level of success that you want to get to and that you're capable of. I believe that we all have huge potential. I mean, not everybody does, or not everybody has realized it, or maybe not everybody's meant to open it up in this experience of life that we're in. However, Lexi, everyone who is connected, everyone who's watching this has a massive potential. And when I first started coaching people, and I coach on a one-to-one level, I've coached actors, actresses, music artists, talent, CEOs, entrepreneurs, amazing, amazing people. Like, I've got some incredibly powerful clients, and I see people's potential really fast, and I speak to them at their potential level. And what I realized is that not everybody will reach their potential, and that's okay. That's not on me to push people into their potential. If they don't want to go there or aren't willing to, then I've got to be okay with that. So I used to get quite disappointed, because I'd be like, but I see you on this stage, this stage, this stage, and an Oscar and this, and then somehow they just weren't ready, and that's okay. And they might never fulfill their potential, and that's okay. That's, everyone's at a different level. So it definitely goes down to mindset, because you and I both know that you have these subconscious, sneaky, I call them self-limiting beliefs, or SLBs, that are on a mindset level. And this isn't about us going woo, or, you know, this isn't spiritual understanding. This is psychology, actually, and neuroscience, right? So we have these SLBs going on, and they are basically influencing the way that we show up in life, how we operate, how confident we are or not. And I'm not sitting here saying to everyone listening and watching that it is not possible to be successful with a mindset that's in sabotage. It is. I've seen some of the most successful, I'm friends with a lot of influencers. I've seen incredibly successful influencers scale their platforms to millions of followers, but they're being driven by, I need to please my dad. I'm pleasing daddy. Yeah. I don't want to let anyone down, you know, and they're working 14-hour days, and, you know, so they're driven from a place of fear and lack, and just not wanting to face their fear. And because why would you want to face your fear? You want to run away from it as far as possible, right?
Because it takes you to the unknown.
Totally. Versus driving yourself from a place of fulfillment. And see, if you're driving yourself to success from a place of lack and fear, you're never going to feel enough, worthy, satisfied, fulfilled. And at some point in your life, hopefully not on your deathbed, but have you read that, you know, that book by that nurse, and she says the 5 wishes of the dying. This is quite morbid, so I don't know why we're going there, but we are.
No, go there.
5 wishes of the dead. The first one is, I wish I hadn't worked so many hours. I wish I hadn't worked so much. That's like the top dying wish of the dying. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And that Steve Jobs talks about that in his autobiography, doesn't he? You know, don't regret not spending time. And listen, this might be going over people's heads when I'm talking, because if you're like me and you and Lexi and all of the amazing successful entrepreneurs that we're connected with, we kind of live to work because we love it so much, and we love serving. And that's sometimes where the boundaries get a bit blurred for me, because I'm like, but I love serving like you. We love building communities and helping people. So where's the line where we go, okay, enough's enough now. I'm tired. I can't push myself anymore. I need to take a few days off, you know, or a month off. Yeah,
and
I don't know.
it's hard to do that. I think a lot of people, like, when you get into that, like, hamster wheel, and let's say you even took a morning to yourself, you feel guilty. Oh no, I didn't wake up at 7:30. Oh, I didn't do this. And you're like, but yeah, like, it's actually doing wonders for you mentally and physically. But yeah, it's just getting, like you said, in that mindset.
Yeah.
Which is so, so important. And also, I think you said a very important thing, like, about being ready. And I think with, like, coaching, it's like when you feel ready, then go for it. Because there's, like, you and I spoke, what was it, like 2 years ago? And we both agreed I just wasn't ready. I was ducking and diving, and, you know, I wasn't. But then it's like, but, you know, it's true, because it's a commitment, and it's a commitment.
It's a commitment. Absolutely. But, you know, are we ever ready to make a leap of success? Are we ever ready to create success? And the conscious mind, the ego mind's like, yeah, of course, Jody. Of course, I want to be successful. Of course, I want to reach this level of my business. And yet, there is a part of us that's afraid of success. Like, you know, there is. And I know if you're watching this and you're already successful, you're probably looking at me going, well, that's not true because I am already successful. But think about you going to the next level. It's, you know, it's our power, believe it or not, especially with women, it's our power that we're most afraid of, because we can be ruthless with our power.
But ruthless in the right direction, you can get, like, you know, the place you need to be.
Totally.
And you got, yeah, and you know what? You've got to love that person. Because also, if you see someone else doing it, you admire them. So why are you not admiring yourself?
Exactly. I totally agree. Yeah, exactly. For sure.
And so, Jody, I'm going to go on to my last question, because I can see that I've kept you for a bit of time and I know you're super busy. What would be your one wardrobe tip for the LBD community?
Wardrobe tip. Okay. Wardrobe tip. I love, so first of all, let me just let you know that I don't, you know, I'm very much an advocate of recycling, reusing, vintage. I don't often buy new items, especially not from fast fashion retailers. I just don't do it. I've kind of, my parents, my mum and dad love designer labels, but in an obscure way. So they're massive fans of like Comme des Garçons. They shop at Dover Street Market, which is a international retailer. They, you know, when they were young and hip, they used to dress in like Yohji Yamamoto, like Japanese design, obscure stuff, right?
Please say that they still have that.
They do. And they still reuse it. And actually, my mum gave me a vintage Comme des Garçons cream. I always like hankered after it. She gave it to me about 5 years ago, and I absolutely love it. And I wear it at weddings, if I'm allowed to wear cream. I wear it at weddings, and I wore it at my book launch, actually. I wore it at my book launch. So I love reusing clothes. So for me, I love it. And lockdown fashion for me has been very much some kind of statement t-shirt like this one, which I was gifted.
Necklace. Are you wearing your Yes necklace?
I was gifted. Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, so some kind of like oversized t-shirt, but it wants to feel cool. My husband, who works with me, he is CEO of the company, and he's helping me scale at the moment. He always looks at me and he's like, can you just go and change and put like a shirt on for the live you're going to do? And I'm like, why? He said, because it just doesn't say conscious business owner. And I'm like, well, you know, as much as I am, you know, a female founder and a professional business owner, I'm also me. So it's important to have an individual style. Yeah. So that's it. That's my tips. Oh, well, and also Mojave slippers. Have you seen Mojave slippers? They're amazing.
What are they?
Mojaves. You know what they are?
I have no idea what that is.
They're house slippers, and they are absolutely amazing. I think, they're designed in London and created in China. They're like, they've got like wetsuit material behind them, so they're very firm.
Oh my God, I love that. But on that note, Jody, I want to say such a massive thank you for joining us today. I've so loved our time. And
it's so cool.
Thank you. And I can't wait to see you again very soon online. And everyone, sign up to Jody's amazing challenge. I assure you, like, she won't let you down, and you will feel so good after it, and like so inspired to just get shit done. So Jody, thank you so much.
And thank you so much. I think I've just giggled the whole way through today.
Well, that's when you know you're having fun.
Oh, but everything can be fun, and that's what I just want. The final thing from me is everything can be fun, because as you and I both know, we can be absolutely in the weeds. We can have multi things going on at the same time. We can, you know, we can be in the weeds. It's the best way I know how to say that. But if you can just remind yourself of the fact that, you know, things can be fun and playful and lighthearted, it will bring you out of that energy of overwhelm and heaviness. So I just wanted to, because if things aren't fun, and listen, it's so easy to get knocked out of the alignment and forget that business can be fun. But it's when it becomes a bit monotonous and boring. And listen, every day I wake up at the moment and it feels like Groundhog Day. And I'm like, oh, get me somewhere, cafe, coffee shop. I just need to go somewhere. But it's been feeling a bit Groundhog Day-y at the moment. So, you know, make it fun. Like, how can you make it fun? How can you just like, I want to show, I'm always surrounded by colors as well. Yeah, make it fun. Anyway, that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, you do. Lots and lots and lots of love. And thank you again.
Thanks, my love. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Bye. Bye.